of what this is. So I take, in this event, I take sources from 3 categories, prose, poetry, and drama, and combine them together into one piece that's on one singular societal topic, and I get to use this binder. So, yeah. I can't use public transportation after 7 p.m. I can't be brutally honest when you slide into my DMs. I can't go to the club just to dance with my friends, and I can never leave my drink unattended. My name is Miriam Ruffalo. I'm 27 and 3rd generation Air Force. My grandfather and father were Air Force officers, and all my life I wanted to be like them. I joined the Air Force Reserves after high school and put myself through school during my enlistment. I got married too and had a baby girl. My daughter was only 2 years old when I was deployed. That was March 2003, right as the U.S. was heading into Iraq. Warning, it's that time again. Time for another rape poem. The audience sighs, sits back in their seats. You ask, why another rape poem? Didn't I just hear like 3 of these? Yeah, you probably did. Unsurprising, in a country where someone is sexually assaulted every 2 minutes. Okay, so you've been raped or abused or harassed by someone, and the police won't help you, and he's well liked, and you're traumatized, and you have to do work for work, but everything's currently shattered, and you'd rather die than try to send one email? Yikes. You could start down the painful road of recovery, but that's more work for you to do. Plus, it makes everybody kind of uncomfortable. So have you considered just sort of burying the trauma deep, deep, deep down where no one can find it? No? Well, here's how to pack your trauma in a little bundle and keep on keeping on. In recent years, sexual harassment and assault have been brought to the forefront of the world's attention, with the Me Too and Time's Up movements making headlines on a daily basis. However, survivors of sexual violence are still often stigmatized, and it's an issue that isn't often openly discussed. We need to break this stigma so that we can move forward as a society. So through the poetry Rape Poem to End All Rape Poems by the Rutgers University Slam Poetry Team, and lyrics from A Scary Time by Lindsay Labs, prose Rape Culture is Not a Myth by Amanda Taub, and Chill Ways to Just Sort of Live with It by Anna Drexel, and drama, The Lonely Soldier Monologues by Helen Benedict. Breaking the Silence, a program. Because it is only by starting to have an honest conversation about sexual assault that we can stop forcing victims to suffer in silence. Rape culture is a culture in which sexual violence is treated as the norm, and victims are blamed for their own assault. It's not just about sexual violence itself, but about cultural norms and institutions that protect rapists, promote impunity, shame victims, and demand that women make unreasonable sacrifices to avoid sexual assault. I can't walk to my car late at night while on the phone. I can't open up my windows when I'm home alone. Can't go to the bar without a chaperone. Can't wear a miniskirt if it's the only one I own. Tip number 1. Create a blank nook in your living space. When Marie Kondo invented houses earlier this year, she made sure to put a priority on creating spaces within your space for specific purposes. So why not make a dedicated area for privately zoning out and allowing the numbness to envelop you like a living tomb? Go wild. You don't have to break the bank or your gaze into the nothingness to really make this space your own. It happened so much, you got numb. I said I love my job, and I really did. But from my time at boot camp to the day I got out, I was harassed all the time. I had a senior officer constantly quiz me about my sex life and ask personal questions that no supervisor should ever have the right to ask. I had a colonel sexually harass me in ways that I'm too embarrassed to explain. These are people who had complete control over my life. When I worked, when I ate, when I slept, when I could talk or could not talk, could rest or could not rest. These are people I was supposed to obey, no matter what. Rape poem, as if trauma is a trope, violation, a cliche, all the while everyone is rolling their eyes and asking, why so many damn rape poems? A few months into my deployment, I was directed to pull night guard duty. I smoked like a chimney while I was in Afghanistan, and this night was no exception. So, after a few hours, I put my weapon and my radio in the guard shack and walked 20 feet to the nearest smoke deck. You don't ever leave your weapon anywhere when you're in a combat zone. I had a momentary lapse. I thought I'd be okay 20 feet from my weapon. I was wrong. I had just taken a few drags of my cigarette when all of a sudden somebody grabbed me and dragged me behind some power generators, and I struggled with all my strength to get free. Stop it, please, stop now! It wasn't enough. He finished his deed and left. And I'm covered in blood. And it's my blood. And oh my God, how did I let this happen? Don't tell me that she was sober enough to make a decision. Don't tell me she was asking for it. Don't tell me to pity him for facing the consequences. You complain about another damn rape poem, but this is all a part of a culture. The second hallmark of rape culture is an unwillingness and/or inability to punish the perpetrators of rape and sexual assault. In the US military, for instance, only a small percentage of sexual assaults are investigated or punished. I waited until my shift was over and did what every Law and Order show says to do. Don't take a shower and go immediately to the authorities. I thought they would listen to me, but I was wrong. According to a report by the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, the Department of Defense estimates 26,000 service members were raped or sexually assaulted in 2012 alone, and slightly more than half of those victims were men. However, fears of reprisal and stigma meant that only 2,558 of those victims even pursued justice by filing an unrestricted report, and only 302 of those cases proceeded to trial. There was a good reason for that. The service members who did report being assaulted often faced retaliation from their superiors, who had control over whether or not their cases could proceed. They told me that if I filed a claim that I'd been raped, I would also be charged with dereliction of duty for leaving my weapon unattended in a combat zone. That could get me court-martialed. That could end my career. So, I shut up and didn't say anything to anyone. I couldn't even bring myself to talk to my own daughter. It hurt me too much to hear her little voice on the phone, knowing that this was the world that I had brought her into. Tip number 4. Just have a worse, shorter life. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Just let your hair down, go a little wild, and just live with the metallic taste of injustice in the back of your throat at all times, die sooner of stress-related illnesses, and thank your lucky stars that you won't live long enough to see your granddaughters go through the same trauma factory we call Earth. Yay! These poems will continue, because these poems are our prayers to beat the odds in this country of apple pie and rupees. The rape poems will continue until no really means no. Until rape means crime. Until woman means human. The rape poems
will continue until there is no damn material